All right, this is the deal. We are about to explain how do you box against a person who's southpaw, who's rangy, when you're actual southpaw as well. Not only that, you're going to learn a couple of things about what is it that we actually do to help our athletes and our coaches and our the people that are in our banner fight, right? So one thing that you must keep in mind when boxing against a fighter who is superior to you in size, length, and maybe even experience. It's all about game planning. And I'm going to break it down to you. What do you do in this situation? It doesn't matter if you're a female or if you're a male, but in life, there's going to be obstacles that come in front of you. And how do you really deal with those things? So, before I get started, I'd like to share one moment just to introduce each of you who are on the page and to say a special shout out to Tracy Myra, who's this week's super follower, the actual champion of the page this week. Special shouts. You're going to get prep school on us, total 100% ride. Congratulations for supporting the page with our stars. The next thing I have to make sure I pay attention to is those who are following now. Supporters, we appreciate you. The fact that you've gotten us, we're at 299,000 followers right here on this page. So thank you. We do not take that lightly. You are a superstar because we could not do this, or I wouldn't do this if I didn't have you here. So know that you guys are super important. So special shouts out to you. For those of you who are tuning in, we're going to speak. How is it that you can defeat a person that's larger than you, southpaw, when you're an actual southpaw? These rules also apply when you're a conventional athlete. When you're boxing, there are things that you have to know, and the depths of what you know will show up inside of the boxing ring. So I don't know if any of you really watch boxing, but the thing about this is you're about to learn some really good stuff, and I'm going to show a couple of things behind the scene of what we do over here so you can really get a grasp on what role you have to have when you are fighting. There's so many other things that are going on when you're seeing these videos on the page. So special shouts out to you for hanging on board. Special shouts out to my brother, Coach P from the School of Boxing. And I'm going to show you right now a little bit behind the scene. And that was just a snippet from some of the things that we're going to actually cover going into what happens at the elite tournaments. So if you're interested in seeing how to handle pressures and different styles, you're going to want to hang around for this. But right now, I'm going to share a little something with you. We have one of our guys going out to box in a very big boxing card this weekend. He's actually a day ahead of us, and he's actually going in. And here's some of the things that we discuss with our fighters in Championship University, which is what we have been sharing with people. I want you to really see what goes on. So here's a conversation that we had to get them prepped for the fight. I can't really reveal much more of the conversation, but I will say what your takeaway is going to be is holy smokes, they really are doing a lot more behind the scenes, and you do at high level boxing. But what you find in most camps is people think it's just about what you're doing in the gym. We're so far ahead of that. It's not just there. So here's a couple of minutes. I'll give you 2 minutes of what this really looked like behind the scenes, and so you can get and judge things and see what really goes on and what we do when you're up here watching our videos. We're doing some real stuff,
Yeah, like that,
you
right?
know. Yeah, I mean, you're either gonna be here or you're gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? Like you're either gonna
Yes,
be
sir.
here or you're gonna be there. But always, you're thinking, don't let them score.
I
And
also
of
been
course,
sorry, coach.
No, all I was going to say is you just always want to keep in mind that you're going, when you're going against the southpaw, you're going to your left more. You're faking like you're going to your right. You're giving him the illusion that you're going to your right, but you are actually concentrating on going left, even though you're giving them looks.
Ah, okay. So I focus on. I gotta fake. I gotta make them think that I'm going to the right, and then I
Yeah,
move to the left
yeah.
eventually.
Because what's going to happen is he's going to feel comfortable when you're going that way, and he'll probably start, and then you're going the opposite direction. So practice that as a drill. Practice going to the right a little bit. When you're out of range, it's all good. Just don't do it when you're close to the ropes. Only do it
Ah,
in the center of the ring. Okay. Do it in the center of the ring. And then, like I said, jab, step to your right, and then go left. And inch him left sometimes, just a little bit at a time. When you planning on hitting him hard, you just kind of inch left so he can't tell you're actually moving. So what that is doing is he's thinking he got a punch, but when he throw, he's gonna always just be missing a little bit. And that's when you're just inching to your left, little short steps, you know,
short,
keeping them
short steps.
distracted with your jab, even if you're not landing. Bam. And as you can see and hear, what you're learning here is all about making sure that you are covering bases that people don't actually see. So his fighter can go and look at what he did before in the fight. But the thing about it is now you are in a corner. You have a supreme strategic partner in master boxing. And so what's happening is he's getting the edge. And when it comes down to a fight, it matters that you have those components that give you the edge. Any of you who coach, and a lot of you are former fighters. See, I'm not a former fighter. I was born to be a coach. I had all of the algorithms of a fighter, but my path took me down the road of coaching, and just a bevy of those things that coaches have to acquire can't be acquired over a short period of time. Therefore, I'm very thankful for the path in which that I was put on. Because growing up, there was no boxing gym in the area that I grew up. So I took my frustrations out on people. So that is not the right way, of course, but the path drew me right to a place that was going to be the purpose I was actually here. Because my entire life I taught my best friends and my associates and relatives pretty much how to fight. So this is what I've actually been doing my entire life. People who grew up with me can't believe that I do this and get paid to teach this, and then to come later on to find out that my bloodline is boxing, the lineage, and I was able to learn from a professor. And so I learned all these details that people truly don't understand. And so when you go to a boxing gym, you see a bunch of boxing. The difference is you don't see a lot of behind the scenes strategy. You see people who are boxing at the gym. They come to the gym the next day and they don't even know exactly how they did what they did the day before, because there's not a real system in place so that they can groom themselves and develop that muscle memory. Everything I used to do, I used to write on index cards, and then it went from index cards to these kind of things, just paper, notebook, and then it went from there to these, and those ended up being books, and those were experiences. Those are things that I was writing when I was in the championship world, I mean, training camps against the best fighters that ever lived. And yeah, I was nervous. I didn't know shit about where I was, what I was doing, and what I had been blessed to be a part of. And then I realized that this has always been my calling, because I'm maniacal and I think very detailed. And I would be watching matches, and I have a library maybe of, I don't know, I think 40,000 fights. It can fill up a garage from front to back, top to bottom, that's 25 feet in depth, right? That's how deep my library is. It's the deepest boxing library you can find. And I studied and studied and studied. So my pathway has always been coaching. And so when I get my guys who are trainers currently right in front of me, I know exactly what will give them the edge. I don't teach them what they know. I teach them things that'll give them the edge. And then I give them the books and stuff to show them the process. But there's so much that when you're a third generation that you can concentrate on because the other guys figured out one thing, one generation of things, and then another generation of things. And then I got to really concentrate on what gives our guys the full advantage. I know the skills, I know the politics, I know the business. And now I can really concentrate on what gives our athletes the advantage. And so that conversation, I'm going to go into our group, the School of Boxing Winner Circle group is one of the places that we upfit our guys with the concentration of being simple in your process, knowing exactly how much training goes behind every skill set. And that is what makes this thing like poetry in motion, man. And now this weekend, our guy is going to go up and we had a call schedule, but he had to take a flight because he's going over the pond. He's going to an away location, right? So, what would you do if you're fighting away? Let me see you down in the comment boxes. I see I got some new heads popping in. Let me see. Let me see my brothers. Sending my love, Coach Tracy Myra. Special shouts out to our top champion this week, Tracy Myra. Special shouts out to you, brother. We appreciate you all. See, a lot of people they don't realize what we put into what we do, right? So there's hours and hours and hours upon hours and days and weeks and months and years of material that we strategically put out here in social media to teach people that are on our page that there are levels, and with every level, there's a new devil. And when people take time and say, I'm watching this video, I got a lot of value, I'm going to donate to what you guys are doing. Because now we developed a nonprofit, which is actually completing the paperwork and all is getting done. We've invested to get that done. That's $5,000 worth of freaking spend. But we put this stuff out and we want you to realize we're not giving you crap. We're not giving you something that you really can't use. We're giving you some that you can use in an abundance of it so that you can have a real understanding of what boxing is. And we make sure that there's so many layers that you are not going to be able to get on YouTube, that you really have to have somebody who actually gives a damn about your learning, because you're not going to learn the stuff that we're teaching. That's the reason you followed this friggin' page, because what we're teaching you isn't everywhere. And the process in which we're putting that out there are times where it's 5 or 6 videos that go out in one day, most of the time. And what is that? It's extracted from a real complete teaching. And what would that do for the guys? It really gives you clarity that I got to learn more. And how do I do that? That's where stars. You keep donating, we keep pushing heavy material. But the next level goes from when you get serious, you just register for either the prep school, which is for people who don't go to a gym. You just want to have some boxing and you want to train in a boxing method. Top Trainer U, that's where you get this kind of stuff. All right. That's where you get the training guide and system where you can implement it and use it if you're working with people. And the more competitive levels you go up into another branch. And this young man's in championship U because he fights professionally. He's undefeated and he looks like Manny Pacquiao when he's in the boxing ring, and he can fight. And he actually looks like Manny Pacquiao when Manny Pacquiao was in his 20s. And we're going to give them at the advantage. So special shouts out to Tracy. Myra, let me read what you got. You've done the heavy lifting, and I'm grateful for your wisdom. I hope to meet you one day. My training sessions have gotten better from your content. That's right. And guess what, Tracy? Now we're putting you in prep school. We're covering that entire charge for you, right? Now you can get into a place where you can have it structured, because what we're putting out Monday is footwork, Tuesday is punch, logistics, and defense, Wednesday is light sparring drills and conditioning kind of stuff. That's why you saw some of the drills that we do to get loose and warmed up. Then you saw a warm up, actual warm up that we do if you're actually in a gym that has equipment. On Thursday, we do sparring training drills where you learn and see some of the things that we do behind the scene. Friday, full blown sparring. So tomorrow, you see full blown sparring. Like, there's a system in what we do. We're not just posting videos. You can't go to many pages and they have everything calendared as days. You feel what I'm saying? So when you finish in that prep school, you can say, I want top trainer now. That's where you go to another level and you start going into the books, champ. You feel me, Tracy? Now you start going into our book, The Science of Boxing. And then Monday, you have a full day training kind of stuff. Tuesday, you have a full day of training. Wednesday, you have a full structured training. It's just like what I just said to you. And so we're not here saying, oh, give us money. We don't care about your money. Don't allow people to make it. Boxing is a place, the thing you can just pick up. You can't pick up boxing. 100% of everything you show me is going to need adjusting based upon who's in front of you, what level of fighters in front of you, and if you're a trainer, you need to realize that it's important that you are taking a sport that has been here for so much longer than you, and so many different wrinkles in it, that use this page for your advantage, but take time. And I'm going to be straight just so all of you really know, we don't need your money, right? A lot of people, when they're doing this, they say we we can do this, we can do that, we're not going to promise you, because if we needed your money, we just filled a group full of people. But look at our group. We got 45 people in our group, right? Why? Because we don't want 100. When we had over 150 people, we cleared it out, because see, we want quality over quantity. So just because you're on our page, it doesn't mean you can get in our group, right? Because we own like 12 companies. We are investors, so we don't physically need to exchange hours for dollars, and we teach our guys how to go about and live that kind of life as well. We literally are doing a service to boxing. If you know you're in the sport and you don't have a coach or a liaison, then there are other coaches that have courses. We don't have a course. Ours is an academy. An online course is not something that can get you through in boxing. We have a university and we have class, and classes in session. So that's the difference between us. We had too much stuff to try to put in a course. That is a disservice to people who really don't want to stop learning. And we have conversations. Yesterday, we had conversations for hours with our guys. Today, I took time specially to make sure that there are messages sent out to individuals. We hop on calls, we do FaceTimes, we make sure that we do Zoom calls every week. There is so much that go behind what we are doing with our athletes that most people, 99.99% of the people, training people, are not going anywhere near that amount. You know why I know? Because I was actually full time in the world of boxing, right? So I saw it all, and I know the kind of DNA and the fiber of these individuals. And what we are here to do is add the component of what we bring and make it real clear. and how to get yourself and your program to the next level so you can actually reach your highest good and get on the wall behind me, like that wall back there. And I made mistakes when I was learning because I thought I knew boxing because I could fight in the streets. But the difference between fighting in the streets and fighting in boxing, it's a lot more rules. I'm quick, I'm fast, I'm strong as an ox. But the difference is boxing isn't about strength. It's not about speed. It's not about size. It's all about the in between, hitting and not getting hit, the science. And all of you who've actually competed, you already know that. That's why all fighters who compete and all fighters that used to fight, they are attracted to what I do because I brought an element that is visibly different than they can see. And a lot of you who fought in the old masters divisions and competed in the golden gloves as you were coming up, you're like, wow, some of the biggest compliments are, I wish I had you as a coach. But then again, everybody has learned from such a great coach. We have to be willing to learn more because in 3 decades I've been in boxing, really in it full time. I learned more in my second generation. And after I was raking up all the generational knowledge, after thinking that watching videos of boxing on TV was going to really help me, it doesn't really help you. It just makes you do things wrong. Learning the principles of boxing is about getting critiqued. All right. So you have to be in front of people because it doesn't matter how much Earl Spence you watch or Sean Crawford. I mean, not Sean Crawford, but Sean Porter and Shakur Stevens. That's not going to make you better. Those guys are coming from an area and pedigree. And so our guys take great time to really learn. And what I said before, they said, don't sell to people. I'm like, I ain't selling to people. I done our work. We've made millions of dollars off of my knowledge. I don't need, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm acknowledged by the WBC. I'm acknowledged by the greatest entities in boxing, period. I am the education of boxing. I write for where coaches go get learn they learn. I'm the one that create tests. That's what people don't understand. We don't have to talk about those things. We don't brag about those things, but I'm writing the stuff that the guys who are working with fighters now, I'm the one writing the material they got to learn from. They don't even know it because I could care less. It's just realizing that this game is so serious that if I don't do everything to get the knowledge and the awareness out to you, all you're going to do is keep learning the hard way and it might end up in fatality. And we can't have that. And so the reason why I do it is because my goal is to forfeit my ego and surrender to the Father that I serve above and listen to him. He gave me an ability, he gave me a gift, and to the world, I must share it. And I didn't even want to do this social media shit, but I had to become the voice, the thought leader for the company because there are people like yourself. Maybe you are not the one, maybe you know someone, and maybe it's your child that want to compete, but you don't have a place where you feel you could trust anyone. The reality is you shouldn't be able to trust anyone. The people that you work with, you should be able to totally feel that they understand this game through and through, and we understand this game through and through. And the fact of the matter is, if you haven't found a reason to trust what we do by now, then whose fault is that? Because we've been vulnerable on our page. We put everything out there for you to see that isn't the kitchen sink. So you got to realize for you, I had to go through all of this that you're going through right now, trying to obtain this game. I used to have to find video. I used to have to find people to get things like knowledge from before I got up under mentorship. I could not get enough boxing. And if you're a person still looking for techniques and skills, that means you're in the first phase. You can have been doing this for 9 years. You're still in the first phase. 10 years. Because one of the things that I have as a characteristic, when you get to this phase, you don't look at no one else doing skills and teaching. You're now at another phase of the game. And remember that if you want to get to another phase, you do have to acquire what you need to learn. And we've showed you what it looks like. All of this has to be in your head. Does that make sense? Like all of this is in my head. I don't look at anybody else's skill. I own the treasure chest, and that's only a fraction of the book. There are actually 26 books now, and some of them are about running the business of how do you get known as a fighter. You got to learn all that too. So that's what I mean about the red tape and the in between. You have to learn that stuff too, because Eddie Hearn don't care about you. Bob Arum don't care about you. You are an absolute zero in their eyes, unless you have 190 amateur fights and you've won 185 of them. Have you had 190 amateur fights and have you won 185 of them? They don't care about you. Nobody cares about what you want. Nobody cares about what you think you have. Nobody. So, how do you make them care? You make them care by knowing how to build a brand. And that's what we teach the guys little bit by little bit. Today, we'll reach 300,000 people on this page. That's understanding how to build a brand. People know what you do, they know who you are, they know your character, they know your credibility, they know your connection. You talk to people and you mean. I write to you personally every day because I give a shit about where you go. I care about it because I've been in the dumps. But when I was in the dumps, I was only going in the transitional phase to get to another level. I wasn't in the dumps because I was quitting on myself. I was in the dumps because I was leveling up and leveling out. And every time you go to a new level, it's a new devil. Let me see and take a question. Thank you for the boxing knowledge. I had a dislocated shoulder in a fight. Since then, I had to stop fighting, but I hope I won't give up. And my talent, I hope I meet you one day. Look, Elazer, Edison, special shouts out to you, brother. Remember this as I say, humility is the highest level of combat on any level, no matter what sport. Football, hockey, MMA, don't matter. Humility. When you go through something, that means one part of your life was off balance. And no matter who you serve, there is a higher power. And that was your warning. And that was a time for you to silence things and be quiet for a while and just get away from the noise. You have to get away from the noise. Adesanya said the exact same thing last week. You have to get away from the noise. Joe Rogan, people who live on the other side of success, they understand how important it is to quiet things and people that are around you. And when you do that, you'll find that answers start coming. But my thing is to you, brother, is to be quiet. Turn off that phone. Turn off that Netflix. Turn off the ESPN. If you go 3 days, you go 3 days and fast away from that stuff. And when I say fast, mean do without it. After that 3 days, you're going to feel different and you'll be able to hear the voice that's been trying to talk to you, but you always got different waves of energy going into your ear. Am I right? Do you always have something going on in your ear, whether it's music, your iPods, your iPad, your Samsung, your computer screen, your roommates or your neighbors or your wives or your kids? You never get a chance to shut it all off and connect with that voice, because that voice has been trying to, it's been here since you were born, and it's been trying to connect with you on a deeper level. And when you had that injury, that was the time that you connect on a deeper level. And I hope that makes sense to you. You feel what I'm saying? Let me see another question. Boxing is great for mental health too. It's so great for mental health, Thomas. Thank you for putting it up there, Mr. Waddle. Where exactly are you watching from? And the mental health of things is why I'm on this page. It's not to make a champion, even though this page will. When people who are under our tutelage, we show you how to become the champ. You'll win and lose situations, but you'll be bigger than just the activity of boxing. You'll learn how to win in so many lanes in your life that boxing will just be one lane that you're winning in. The same way we say, if you want to be a millionaire, it's good to have 10 streams of revenue. And we show our guys, the coaches and the gym owners, how do you do this? How do you actually get 10 streams of revenue? You can coach in a multitude of ways, and you can actually create streams, and you can have other companies paying you. You don't think I could be a spokesperson for you as a brand? Tracy, Muhammad, Thomas, if I was the spokesperson for your company, wouldn't you pay me to bring you hundreds of thousands and even millions of dollars? Because I can. Because I got, look, at least 300,000 people that believe in me. All you need is three. I got 300,000. And when I do that, I do it from my heart. I do it because if I'm talking about something, I believe in it. And if I'm talking about you, Thomas, and if I'm talking about you, Tracy, that means I believe in you. And damn it, Tracy, every day I come up there, you donated to our coins. It seems frou-frou to some people, but it means something. You give that little injection to me when I tell our admin, we want this, and this to go out today. But you know what? We have a young man who believes in valuing and showing people their value, and he donated, put out this 7-minute video on sparring. So the video that went up yesterday showed you how to deliver the power jab, bazooka jab. This is what Ike Corte made a career of. This is what bust De La Hoya up in a world championship fight that he was robbed in. But De La Hoya will tell you himself, the guy beat me. I couldn't get out of bed for 2 weeks. And that was with the bazooka jab. You can Google it, go to YouTube, Ike Quartey, Quartey. His first name is Ike, Ike, versus De La Hoya. And then just say Ike Quartey highlights. That's the bazooka jab, what I was showing you yesterday. And then I showed you how to put the two behind it, the right hand. Boom, bam, right? And then after that, we did the throwaway. We threw those first two punches away just to land a left hook. This is what's in the video I put up yesterday. I got our admin to do all of this because this young man was so honorable in giving away $1, $2, $3, $5, whatever. But it wasn't money. We don't need money. We need to find people who have value and find value in our stuff. You see all these people, they say, thank you, thank you, thank you, but never go in their wallet to prove that they really appreciate you. They feel like I'll motivate myself. They don't realize we can shut this page down tomorrow, take everything down. It's only a one click of a button to shut it down because this is not what funds our company. You know, our companies, our money makes money. We sell money. We only buy back time. So that's already been done. This is, like I said, the motivation that Tracy and the other young man's men who donated this week, it just makes me say and show that they're grown people who are mature and understand exchanging time for value. And so we really take that seriously. And you can see people, look, they start dropping off when you start calling them out. But the reality is we do it for you who believe in what we do and understand and take time to do this. I have to pay people, you know, we have to pay people. Hey, you pay $1,500 for an admin a month to handle this stuff and push it out, but I do my own writing. And when I get it out there to you all, I want you to get some value from it. But you have to realize every single person that you're a fan of that's famous, they have people above them like me. They get coached. And so realize that if you're in a place that you're trying to get yourself to the next level and you're trying to do it on your own, that's not how it's done. Jay-Z, Kevin Hart, Miley Cyrus, it doesn't matter who you pick. Everybody has people that coach them up. Doesn't matter. Even if it's a Kim Kardashian, their mom is their coach, but they pay people to get them to the next level, because the next level isn't about working hard. The next level is about understanding there's a game being played and you got to know how to play the game. So I'm going to go into our group and I'm going to tell our fighter exactly how to beat this guy. I'm going to do a reminder. So before he goes out, he gets to watch that video. And that's what separates us from everybody. We are so hands on with our people. We will not watch you lose. We will not just do enough just to say we did it. We go in. We've had 4 full calls just about this fight, over an hour long. And we're going to do that until victory is there. We did it in the last fight, knocked the guy out. We're going to do it again in this fight. And then we're going to end up in a pay-per-view, because that's what I understand how to do. I know everybody in all the sanctioning bodies that are necessary to know, and everybody has to pick up my phone call. You know why? Because I write their tests. I do everything for the certifications that they give out. They have to answer my call. Guess what? I also have a humongous freaking following of great people that they want to be able to share what's going on in the boxing world with. I've worked for ESPN. I've done so much as far as growth as a man and understanding how to be a real human being that understands the game of life a lot more. And I humble myself for all of you. So I take the time to thank you all. I just am wanting to give you a sneak peek on what really goes on behind what we do in Championship U and in Top Trainer U and in prep school. And for those of you who continue to support us, make sure you create an impression. An impression is a like, a save, a share, or a follow, or comment, because Facebook says then, or Instagram says then, or TikTok says then they like this content. We'll show it to them again. But I want to know who out there works in the combat game. Make sure you identify yourself. In our sport, people are loners and they feel alone too. I've been there. You know, it's a lonely place when you're working 12, 15, 20 hours a day and nobody really pays attention. Nobody pays attention less than to the coaches. The coaches are always expected to do more. So you guys, if you got a coach, you thank them. If you got a coach, you tell them that you love them. You don't have to be in love with a person, because the person has to make a choice to decide. Now, maybe they're doing it because they need the money from you. I'm not. And you got to decide, are you big enough man to show a man who's going up in there and showing you helping you every day, studying? Because coaches, they don't get credit for what they do when they're not at the gym, but you have to do a lot when you're not at the gym. So that's it, man. I hope you all got something from that little short talk about how to work heads up against a tall, rangy southpaw. But that was really just debate. I just wanted to talk to you and to let you know that you raise yourself one more level higher. But realize when you get there, don't expect anything. Realize there's a new level. On sitting on top of that level will be a new devil. And you have to know how to face them. Do that with pride and conviction, and you'll start to see that preparation beats most things. Prepare for your battle that's coming up. Don't allow it to get in front of you and then start trying to figure out how to do it, scrambling on the page, trying to find how to fight a guy who got a great body shot, or how to work against someone who uses the Philly shell style, or a southpaw that got a big right hand and hooks off the jab really well. You got to be prepared for things. And that's what luck is, when preparation and opportunity meet. Are you ready? Because one day, if you in the competition world, you'll run up against a fourth generation master boxing boxer or trainer. Are you ready for that or not? Because if you were ready, you wouldn't be on this page. You get it? So that means those guys are learning this stuff. So be careful. This game is serious, and be on the lookout. We have some amazing things coming up for those of you who are joining our coaches corner. This is where coaches really get prepared for all of the things that they're not prepared for. So continue blessings. Until next time, I'll see you all soon, and make sure that you keep the most important thing, the most important thing. Success leaves clues. I'm out. Let's go.